Hello, my name is Anna Krutsinger, and I'm grateful to be a recipient of the 2020 Ben Huppy Memorial Internship for a Sustainable World. Through this award, I worked at Cloud Agronomics in Boulder, Colorado as a software engineering intern. Cloud Agronomics is an ag tech startup that leverages geospatial imagery and analytics to create a living map of global agriculture. Their mission is simple: sustainable food that is regenerative, traceable, and tells a story. For them, sustainable food begins with farmers spread across 4.62 billion acres of farmland worldwide. Cloud Agronomics then uses hyperspectral technology to take images that act like CT scans of the fields. Then, their machine learning models work their magic to identify the chemical components of target properties, which in turn provide farmers with real-time, actionable insights about soil health, nutrient composition, and soil organic carbon levels, or SOC. With this knowledge, farmers can then integrate regenerative agricultural practices. Their commitment to sustainability is one of the main reasons why I chose to work at Cloud Agronomics. I've been a vegetarian for my entire life because of the toll the meat industry has on the environment, and I was excited to apply the education I am getting at Harvey Mudd in a meaningful way. This summer, I had the joy and privilege of participating on a wide range of projects. With the data science team, I developed an interactive data visualization dashboard that could be used to identify outliers from the machine learning model results. With the engineers, I wrote a series of unit tests for their data ingestion pipeline. And with members of the entire team, I created a simple desktop application to help automate the pre-processing and validation of raw lab data. Needless to say, I learned a lot in 10 weeks. On the technical side, I gained an intimate understanding of a variety of platforms and tools commonly used in the tech industry, such as MongoDB, AWS, and Kubernetes. I also learned what production-ready code looks like and how to write it. And I added a few new debugging techniques and testing principles to my computer science knowledge. From a professional perspective, I learned how to be a better technical communicator, the art of water cooler talk, the challenges and joys of starting a company, and a better grasp over industry standards like the agile methodology and test-driven development. Lastly, on a personal level, this internship opened my eyes to parts of the food production supply chain I had never given much thought to before. For example, I had no idea just how taxing the industrial agriculture system is on the environment, accounting for 25% of all anthropogenic global greenhouse gas emissions. Nor did I know that nearly 20% of all food produced in the United States is wasted prior to distribution. Perhaps, most importantly, my summer taught me that a job won't feel like work if you enjoy the people you get to work with, you're learning something new every day, and you really believe in the mission of the place that you're working at. Looking forward, I'm really excited about the potential for carbon sequestering to help address climate change. The National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine reported that over 250 million metric tons of carbon dioxide could be removed per year through carbon sequestration efforts in the US alone. I also have a new understanding of how complex the agriculture industry is, and plan to be more mindful of the environmental footprint my own food consumption leaves on the planet. This summer was a truly extraordinary experience, and I'm both humbled and excited to continue working with the Cloud Agronomics team for the foreseeable future. I don't think that there are enough words I could say that would express my gratitude for Mr. and Mrs. Huppy. Without their generosity, this internship would not have been possible. I also want to thank Danny, Gabriella, and the Office of Community Engagement for their guidance and support throughout the summer, as well as Professor Dodds for his recommendation letter. Lastly, I would like to thank the entire Cloud Agronomics team for their mentorship, passion, and technical skill, particularly my managers Benjamin Leff and David Sherman.
Over the summer, I had the privilege to participate in the Ben Huppy Memorial Internship for a Sustainable World with the company Arctic Ice Project. Arctic Ice Project is a nonprofit startup that investigates promising technologies to preserve Arctic sea ice, safeguarding our planet's heat shield in order to buy time for emissions reductions. Arctic Ice Project proposes to do this through a number of ways, but over the summer, we were focusing on the application of a benign and reflective hollow glass microsphere for increasing the albedo and longevity of Arctic sea ice, which has helpful effects on the global climate system in order to prevent some of the harm due to global warming. Specifically, over the summer, I was working on big data visualization, analyzing terabytes of climate modeling data that could help prove the safety and efficacy of Arctic Ice Project's technologies. To do this, I was applying modern cloud performant data science workflows to legacy analysis systems that were already in place. While doing this, I got to learn a lot about the importance of integrity, and fidelity to the data, because in our work, it was absolutely vital that we are making honest and accurate predictions that could enable confident decision making. This work is essential because we're buying time for emissions reduction, which could avert catastrophic damage to ecosystems and prevent untold harm to human livelihood. The work that I did does have a future. It has already been submitted to influential journals in the form of some of the figures for publications produced by the team. And it could help guide science and policy decision makers in the future. I would like to thank Maggie and Bob Huppy for their generous support of this formative professional experience, and also for their willingness to wholly engage with the team at the heart of the Arctic Ice Project. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dylan Sotir, and for the summer of 2020, I worked at a startup company called QuantAQ. QuantAQ is a startup based in Somerville, Massachusetts. It was founded in 2019, and they make low-cost air quality sensor networks and computational tools to go along with those networks. So ultimately, their goal is that customers can spread a bunch of these low-cost sensors over, say, a city or a college campus and measure air pollution in real time at those locations. The computational tools are also built to help customers understand their data. So if they want to base, say, policy changes or safety changes off of the data from their sensors, they have the tools and the understanding to do that. They're also currently working on developing their own line of sensors. This is generally really important work because awareness of air pollution and where pollution gets trapped in locations can massively affect the health of the people living in cities or on college campuses, places like that. So having the tools to know what's going on can help both people and the environment. On the left, you can see a picture of one of QuantAQ's computational tools that shows a visual map of customers' air quality sensor networks and the real-time data for different pollutants. I worked as one of a team of 3 other interns. We each sort of had our own project, but we worked connected. My primary project was writing an app that calculates decay rates of pollution from the air after some event that puts pollution into the air, like turning on a gas stove or a construction project beginning. Those type of events would introduce certain gases, maybe some particulate matter into the air, and QuantAQ's sensors can track that. The primary use of this project was more educational on the customer side. So a customer could upload their data into this type of app, and they could see how quickly pollution falls after an event or doesn't fall after an event. So they can make changes about ventilation in the space, something like that. I also did quite a few smaller side projects. One of the primary goals of QuantAQ is also education and awareness of environmental and air pollution issues. So I did some educational writing for their blog. I also did some statistics work, and I reviewed code for some larger projects. This work will probably be continued after I am gone from QuantAQ, and it will eventually be cleaned up and turned into a tool that customers can use effectively to see how their data is behaving. I would like to thank Evan and David, the founders of QuantAQ, for their support during the summer, Professor Hawkins, who actually set me up with this internship, and the Memorial Internship that supported me for the summer and allowed me to do this work. Thank you and have a good one.
Hello, everybody. My name is Swamik Lamichhane, and I'm here to talk about my summer internship last summer. And long story short, it was an introductory computer science class, and I was teaching students in Nepal. So why Nepal, and why the organization Nepal Mega College? Why did I choose them to teach them? Well, 2 summers ago, I visited Nepal to visit my family members, and while there, my grandfather decided to take me to Nepal Mega College. him and the president are pretty close friends. So when we went there, the president and I and my grandfather were just talking, and the president was talking about how the educational system in Nepal is so different from the educational system in America, and it really is shocking for students that are traveling from Nepal to America for college, the shock that they get because the educational systems are so different. And he was asking me if I was willing to come and give a talk about my experience in college and how that would be different than what students are used to in Nepal. Unfortunately, due to timing issues, I was not able to give that talk, but I still maintain a pretty good connection with the president and the chairman of Nepal Mega College. So, and also from talking with the president and the chairman, I noticed that the computer science program, and not only in Nepal Mega College, but just in colleges in general in Nepal, are pretty limited. Like students, only students that are in the computer science field or have been pursuing it for a couple of years can go into these type of programs, right? Students that are, let's say, taking humanities don't even have the option to take classes like computer science and don't even get exposed to the topic. So I thought that was an issue. That was one of the main issues that I saw with the educational program there. And another thing was students had to decide what type of field they want to pursue really early on in their lives. I think in 10th grade, you have to decide whether you want to go into the science and technology field or you want to go into humanities. When I was in 10th grade, I know I couldn't have made that decision and been happy with it 4 years later. I didn't, in 10th grade, I didn't really know about computer science at all. And now I'm majoring in it. So it goes to say like our tastes change as we grow older. And the fact that these students did not have the opportunity to see all the different fields before making that life-changing decision really stuck with me. And I wanted to know if I could do anything about it. So that was the problem. I wrote problem here, but it's just really a difference in how the educational system in Nepal differs with the educational system in the US. You know, I think that in the US, people have more opportunities to change their major or decide in broad pretty later in life what they want to study compared to what Nepal students have to do. And so it's for me I just didn't like that all the students weren't getting exposed to computer science because I think it's super cool. So and CS is a pretty expanding field that biology, chemistry, physics, all of those big fields are using computer science anyway. So I wanted to see if there was a way I can get computer science to these students in Nepal. And my solution was to teach an introductory computer science class in my summer break. And I proposed this to the chairman and the president of Nepal Mega College, and they liked the idea. And summer vacation here is still during school time in Nepal. So it worked out perfectly. Students would still be in school and they would just be able to come after school and take this introductory Python class. And since they agreed, I had planned to go to Nepal for 3 months, stay there, teach them in person. I was asking if there was enough projectors or if students had access to computers and all of those things. But then COVID hit. After COVID, there was a traveling ban and it was just not safe to go teach students in person. So, but we pivoted, right? I started to use Zoom to teach these. I said I can teach these students in Zoom. I think we can still make this program happen, and that's exactly what happened. So I taught this 3 month long course through Zoom, and 25 students, about 25 students, attended this class, and many of them came to this class without any prior knowledge of CS and essentially left with a pretty good understanding of what computer science is and how computer science can be used to solve problems not only related to math or science, but also like other everyday problems and how it can make your life easier. And although COVID forced me to do this through Zoom, I still think that this was a big success because a few students that came without any prior knowledge to computer science left with that knowledge and also a need or want. They wanted to pursue computer science later on in life, and that made me very happy. And thus, I think the computer science, this program was a big success. Um, as I mentioned, COVID did bring some issues. You know, there was no in-person teaching, and I think in-person teaching would have definitely made this situation better. And there was also a lot of technology and internet difficulties in Nepal where students might not have been able to attend in-person class due to Wi-Fi issues. But to mitigate that, I made a nice Google Drive folder where I uploaded all my lectures and all my lecture slides. So students, even if they could not attend class, they could just follow along at their own time before the next class and make sure they weren't falling behind. And from this, I also learned that teaching is really difficult, managing your time, but also making sure that all the material gets covered without making sure the students are bored is a very difficult task. And I have a big new amount of respect for all the teachers at RB Mud and any other college who make my learning experience a lot better, a lot more fluid and better than I ever could. And this is sad to say, but there is a lot of uncertainty about this program continuing. There was no internship that existed before, and I just applied to be part of it. I kind of suggested this to the professors at a Nepal mega college and kind of made it happen. And unless someone is willing to do the same, I don't think this program will continue. But besides that, I still think this was a success because 25 students that would not have been able to learn CS or would not have had this type of knowledge given to them in their life kind of had their life change, right? Impacted in a way that could impact the rest of their lives. You know, 2 or 3 students said, yeah, I didn't know about computer science, but now I kind of want to pursue it. And I think that in itself is a success. And I just want to say thank you to Harvey Mudd College and the Office of Community Engagement for allowing this to happen. Yeah, thank you.